Hi everyone, in this video we are going to style the work section. So this is where we left it off in our previous lecture. Let's dive into the styling of this section. So in here, let's go up. First, let's get rid of that height, that fixed height. For the background color, I'm not going to do any background color, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. The padding is going to be XLV, so var padding XLV. And for top and for left and right, the padding is going to be LH. There we go. So that is padding LH. Now, since there are two items within this container, we have one div and this is the another div, work content and work image. I'm just going to say display flex. So both of them are going to be horizontally aligned. And I'm going to say align items center, but justify content is going to be space between. So they're going to be like spaced apart. Gap is going to be 5 rem. There we go. Let's grab the work content. So we have work content, double underscores. So in here, I want the work content to occupy a space of 50% of its container. So that's the dimensions. So we know that flex basis works also based on the main axis of the flex container. So when we say display flex, and by default it's going to be horizontal if we don't change it manually. So if we don't touch the flex direction and set it and leave it as it is, so as it is value is going to be horizontal or row. So flex basis is going to refer to the width of that item that we are trying to enlarge or delarge or make it smaller. So flex basis in this case, because the flex direction is row by default, we did not modify that. The flex basis is going to refer to the width of the work content div. Now keep in mind, if I were to change the flex direction from the default, which is row, to column, then flex basis is no longer going to talk about or is going to refer to width. It is going to refer to height. So in case sometimes if flex basis works buggy, you think that it is working buggy or it's not working as you expect it to, make sure you understand the direction of the flex box. So if you understand the direction of the flex box, you will know all of these properties, how all of them they're going to work. So you need to keep that in mind. So in here, we are going to say display flex, all the items that are going to go horizontal, we are going to say flex direction column. So if I were to provide any flex basis for the flex items of the work content flex box, then all the flex basis in that case will refer to the height, not the width, because I've changed the direction to column. And then gap is going to be 4. Let's come down. Let's grab the title, style the title. Let's grab the para, style the para. So it's work content title. Font size, very, very primitive styling. Styling properties, we have talked about these a lot. DM, dynamic medium. Font weight is going to be 700. Font family is going to be the main font family. So for the titles, we are going to use the main font family. So here it is. And opacity is going to be 0.8. So it's going to be like a little bit transparent. Let's grab the paragraph. So it's work title. So work, instead of title, we're going to say para. For the paragraph, I'm going to increase the font size to a static font size, so it's going to be ST-M. That is static M. And the opacity is going to be 0.5. There we go. Let's save that. Let's take a look at our changes so we can see what else, what is there that we need to fix. So the title is done. The paragraph is done. We need to work with this image. We need to make it smaller so we can see our styles better. So that's what I'm going to do next. The class for this one is work img. I'm going to say flex basis, which is going to be the width. 50%, and I'm going to say dot work img, the image, it has to go with 100% of its container. And let's take a look at our website. There we go. So now this is sitting nicely on one side of the screen. Now we can get ready to style these LIs that we have right there. The styling for those is very, very simple. So we have a UL. The UL has a work content list container class. So this is list container. And we are going to say display flex. So all the divs, all three divs, they're going to be flex items, but we are going to change the direction from row to column. And align items is going to be, we want to stack them to the top of the container. So we want to stack them to the start of the container. But since we have changed the direction to column, align items, it no longer works in vertical axis, it works in horizontal. So we want to put it on the exactly in alignment with the title and the paragraph. So we are actually preserving the alignment UI design fundamental. Let's save that. Let's take a look at that. So we want all the items to be aligned with their parent. So how we work the paragraph as well as this one. We want it to be aligned like this. So let's jump into code. What else do we want to do here? Now within each div, which is a list of the list container, we're going to have two elements, and we want to basically align them and put them side by side. So I'm going to grab that class, that work container class, and I'm going to grab the div from there. Display flex, align items center, justify content center. And I'm going to say gap 2 rem. Let's style the LIs as well. So work list LI. So the font size for both of the LIs is going to be the same, but the styling is going to be a little bit different, the background and all that cool stuff. So the font size is going to be st-s, the static small size. And now we want to style the first child differently. So why don't we grab it using the pseudo class? So I'm going to say first child. Let's change the background color to septenary. And then we are going to say padding is going to be 1 rem, 2 rem. Color is going to be var primary color. And border radius, as you know it by now, is going to be 0.5. For this one, it's going to be 0.3 rem. Let's save that. Let's take a look at our changes. So if there is something else that we need to provide it right here. So 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at our final design. Okay, the padding, we need to, okay, this is curved. That is the next section. Okay, cool. I think it is looking the same. It looks the same. The only thing else, the only other thing that we need to do here is we need to actually consider how responsive this section actually is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into our our completed website. We are going to make it smaller so we can see, okay, what kind of design changes we need to bring in here so we can make it more responsive. So if I go ahead, and this is our final website, if I go ahead and if I make it smaller, there we go. So it is getting smaller. So the image is getting smaller as well as the sections width. And at some point at exactly 800, we are switching. So we're using the same breakpoint that we had for the hero section. We're using it for the work. And something cool happens, that these items, they're now aligned in this manner. So first, second, and third one. Let's make it smaller. Now, when we make it smaller, they're trying to align themselves better. There we go. Let me take a look at something else. So take a look at this how we work title. It is small, right? I mean, like at 838, this is not the size of the title that you want. But as soon as you go below that size, so I'm going to zoom out a little. I'm going to enlarge this so you can really see. It is going to get enlarged. There we go. So you can see it is getting bigger. So how much bigger? We could see that. So it is font size is 26 pixels. But if we make it smaller, now the font size is going to be 30. So the smallest size that it is going to go is going to be like 26 pixels. And then it's going to jump to 30 or 3 rem. And let's take a look at the font size for, this is a static, so it is staying at that 20 pixels. So that's cool. Let's make it smaller, smaller, smaller. Let's see how these three align. There we go. So at around 470, all of these, they're going to align themselves. Let's take a look at them with their container. There we go. So this is what we want to do, just to free up a little bit more space. So if we go below that, these styles, they're still responsive. These elements, they're still responsive. So there's going to be a breakpoint at around 800, and there is going to be another one at around 470. So there we go. Let's come down. We do have that breakpoint at around 800, which we have used for hero. And I'm going to copy that comment. Let's put it down here. So now we are working in the work section. So first things first, I told you that before doing that, I'm going to decrease the padding here. And I told you that we are going to have this padding property for all of these sections. So next one is going to be the work, and I'm going to say work. So all of them are aligned in the same way. So that is done in the 470. We are going to come back to 470 later. Okay, so I see. Let's jump into 800 and let's see what we can do there. So I'm going to grab the work. At around 800, I want to change the flex direction from row to column, and I'm going to say align items to the flex start. There we go. So now we have changed that, and I'm going to increase the title as well. So I'm going to be saying that work content title. I'm going to change the font size of that to var static, to a static value, and that is going to be static large. Now, there is something cool right here. Before actually realigning the list items that we have, I'm just going to show that to you in our final project, completed project, so you can see that as well. So this title for this section, how we work, this has the same size as with key features, the same with this contact us form, as well as the team section, and as well as this one. So we are going to apply same styles for all of them. So we can go ahead and have the same styles. Basically, that's why. I'm just going to bring this down up until right there. There we go. And let's enlarge this. So the reason that I'm playing the same styles is because when I decrease the width of the window, what I want to do is I want all these subheadings, how we work, features, contact, all of them to look the same. So I don't have to waste time on basically rearranging and restyling all of them differently. So this title, this is going to be shared with the features title, the contact, the team, even with the sign-in when we get to sign-in. Now let's realign those elements that we talked about, those LIs, and we're going to grab their parent. That's why they have parent. So I'm going to say work container list. This is their parent. And I'm going to grab the first div, which is first child. And I'm going to say align self. Now, keep in mind, the direction of the column, the direction of the flex box for this particular flex box, or for this particular container, it is a column. So if I say align, it means that I'm aligning them horizontally, not vertically. because we have changed the flex direction. If you just go back to code, if I just go back here, this is the one. So you can see it is column, and then we are going to basically rearranging these. They're from top to bottom. When we say column, top to bottom, align items, it works opposite of the flex direction. So it's going to work horizontally. So this is going to be flex start of the horizontal axis, work list, nth child number, nth child 2. This is going to be in the center, so align self center, and finally work container list. This is going to be last child, align self flex end. Let's save that. Let's take a look at them. So this is our website. Now if we go below 800, let's go below that. There we go. You can see that one is align flex start center, and then we have this one, which is flex end. Now they're going to go up until here, but around 470. What I want to do is I just want to go ahead and I want to align them to the start of their flex container. So let's come back to 470. Now it is the list container, so I'm going to say list. And in here, the align self value for all of these, they're going to be inherit. I'm going to say inherit. Now the inherit keyword or property value says that inherit from your parent. So the parent, or the actual value, or I could say it in this way, that the latest value that you have been using so far, just inherit from that value. And the latest, it is going to be the flex start. And what is that? I mean, we don't care about these ones because we are actually overriding those with this one. But the inherit keyword, it says inherited from your parent, or the latest style that is in the same department. So the latest style in the same department, it says right here, align items. This is going to be flex start. So align self, it's going to grab it from its parent, which is going to be flex start. Now this, if you're asking, okay, why is it not grabbing it from here, is because these are the properties that we have specified for the grid items, for the flex items of the list container. I mean, these are not relating the actual divs. These are relating the LIs within the div. But the actual divs, they're being controlled by this property. So it is going to inherit it from its parent, or the latest one, as long as it is pertaining to that. Keep that in mind. So these values, they're not relating the divs. Again, these are relating the LIs. So it's not considering these. You would say, okay, it is center, so align self, inherit, it is going to be centered. No, it's going to be flex start, because it is going to take a look at the parent. Wherever the flex is initiated. So the flex is initiated within the parent, and it is saying flex start. That's why it's going to grab flex start. And because overriding the align self values, and you can see that the specificity for these values, it's greater than this one, than the one that we have provided. We have two classes here, one pseudo class and one normal class. It's 20. The specificity, you can see it says 0, 2, 0. So it's 2, but the specificity for this one is 0, 1, 0. So it's 1. It's like 10. But for these, it's 2. So we need to increase the specificity, and I'm just going to use the important keyword. I'm just going to do that. Now let's take a look at our changes. If we go below 470, there we go. They just jump into the start of their container. And with this, our lecture comes to an end. We have been able to really make them responsive in a cool way. So this section is also done. In our next section, we are going to talk about this key features. I'm going to show you how you can create this curve that we have, this using border radius, this beautiful design that we have here. So see you in the next video.